What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the African Fighters Podcast. Damn it, I didn't do my catchphrase. What's up, guys? It's your bro back again with the African Fighters Podcast, and we're back. I've said back four times already. God damn, what's wrong with me today?
You're back,
we've got a new face. We've got a new face joining us today. Before I introduce the familiar face, we've got Sase, aka Soft Sports. Yes, Sase, thank you for joining us. How you doing, my brother?
I'm okay. It's a pleasure being here. Feels like I just won a fight via knockout being here.
we'll get into that. And ladies and gentlemen, without any special introduction, if you are here, most of you are here because of demand from London. Ladies and gentlemen, it's King Dems of the King Dems podcast. How you doing, my brother?
I'm good. I can't complain. Glad to be back.
Awesome. Let's pass this to Bruce Buffer so we can start this the cultural way. Yes. That's enough, bros. That's it. We get it. It's time. Yeah. Last week we were not able to do this. Life happened, and we are in episode 51. We are in episode 51, guys. It's crazy how consistent we've been this year. However, we did miss last week, but the train keeps going. The train keeps rolling. Please, if you are joining us, please hit the like button. We do appreciate that a lot. And so Sase is joining us from Cumbria. Not Cumbria?
Cumbria, not Northumbria. Don't worry. Don't go Game of Thrones on me.
Okay. Cumbria. That's just a bit north of Newcastle and here in England. I hear it's a beautiful place. So let's get into it. So what we're going to do this week, I'm going to try as much as I can to keep us here as little as I can, basically. Last week we did miss a lot of talking points. A lot of things happened last week. We saw the Usyk Fury fight. We never really got to talk about that. We saw our boy Themba Gorimbo get another W in the UFC. We never really got a chance to talk about that as well. But we'll talk about that. We'll talk about PFL. We'll talk about a few things. But before we do get to those burning questions from Christopher Graham via our Patreon. By the way, you can send your questions in on Patreon. You can pledge any amount, or you can join for free, or you can join our YouTube membership. All good. Just a cup of coffee per week, per month, they say. Anyways, the first question, which is in our thumbnail, obviously that's what we have leading into this show today. It is the pound for pound list for African fighters currently. This is coming from Christopher Graham via Patreon. Before this show, I sent you guys the list, and I am expecting each of us to have 10 names of the African Fighters Podcast African MMA pound for pound list. This is a list that we are going to talk about is mostly current form, current status, caliber of. Okay, basically, I'm explaining how I put my list together. Obviously, you guys would have reasons why you have yours, but the reason the guidelines for my list is I'm looking at the promotion that you are at, the impact that you are at, the most eyes that you are being seen on, and then another deal breaker for me is being a champion. So so I've got my list. Demola has his list. I'm not sure if Soft has his list. Do you have a list, or you're just going to listen to it?
For now, no.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine.
My top two.
We can deliberate about that. We can deliberate about both our lists. But here's what we are going to do. Normally, I ramble and I talk too much. I probably talk 80% in this show, and Dems is just there acting like a fine boy. Dems, I mean, I don't call you fine boy. My eyes cannot see fine boy. Um,
Anyways.
all right, Dems, over to you. I want to hear
Wagwan
your
Maji.
top 10 starting from 10, and then you work your way up to the top of the list.
Top 10 starting from 10. At number 10, drum roll, is
Wait,
Eagle.
wait, wait, wait. Oh, you already done it? Okay. Your
Yeah,
number
drum
10 is
roll.
who?
Drum rolls fighting out of South Africa, Eagle Smiley Kabesa.
Yeah, Igbo Kabesa, a good shout. He just currently became a double champ in EFC. That is a big deal. I would say, in my opinion, Igbo Kabesa is the best pound for pound number one in Africa, living in Africa, fighting in an African promotion. There's nobody better than Igbo at the moment. Um, I'm not sure if you're familiar with his body of work, Soft. I know Soft is not just an MMA guy. Soft is he dabbles a lot in sports because his thing is soft sports, not soft MMA.
Not hard sports.
Yeah,
Um,
the truth is, if you are a double champ in the EFC, that's no joke. The EFC is not a small
yeah,
promotion, so for you to be double champ there, you've got to do something.
yeah. So Eagle is double champ in EFC, which EFC is undoubtedly number one MMA promotion in Africa, based in South Africa. All right. I have Igu on my list, just so you know, but I don't have him at number 10. But why don't you tell us your number 9?
Number 9. Wait for number 9.
We're waiting.
That is David, the silent assassin Onama.
You still uh, currently in the UFC, currently riding, I believe, a 2-fight win streak. David Onama is one of those African fighters that has every time he goes out, he collects a performance bonus. He sort of is this guy that's kind of like, I feel like he is one of those fighters who like to replicate what they see, because I've seen it twice now. And hear me out. The first time Easy defeat Pereira and he did the bow and arrow celebration, David Onama, actually, David Onama is on a 3-fight win streak. Anyways, don't scratch that. David Onama won his fight and then did the bow and arrow celebration. And then recently, where he had that fight of the night performance in, I think, one of the cards in the Apex, and just in the third round, he pointed him and his opponent. They pointed at the middle of the cage, trying to do like
Against
that
it.
Max Holloway thing. I was like, okay, I understand what Onama is not just a fighter; he's also a fan of the sport. So shout out to David Onama. Soft, you've got anything to say about David Onama being number 9 here
I
for
like, I like
King
his
Dems?
personality. I like his personality. I've been following him too. He's one of the guys that I just know. Give him, say, the next 2 years, and you'll see where he will reach. I love his personality. One thing about me and fighters, I don't only look at your skill. There's this personality you have to bring to the game because the fight game has a lot of different type of fans these days, and you've got to add
Mhm.
that, that aura to it. And Onama has got it.
Sprinkle.
I think he represents Uganda properly, and he's a very good
Mhm.
fighter. So yeah, I agree with you on that.
Yeah, he
Just
does
to
look Ugandan
add
as
to
well.
what you said, Uganda has the best ginger in the world. You know, the
Really?
ginger, the spice. So he brings
Oh,
Okay,
the
so are you talking about real ginger or the ginger that they are talking about in Afrobeat music?
I mean the real
Cedric.
ginger. The real ginger. The real ginger, bro.
Okay,
Bro.
okay,
Like
okay.
go to
Not
that
the ginger that them whiskey
Uganda.
and the videos and the are singing about. If you want to make a ginger,
Don't be surprised. Maybe in David's next fight, he'll come with a bell like Terry G.
David Onama in his last fight, he came out to Mobad's song. He came out to that song that Mobad was saying. Hey,
Waiting
now
with
which one
this
be that
one
one?
like this.
One like this.
Dating
Yeah.
one
He
like
came out to
this.
that
Oh,
song.
yeah.
So yeah, he's a real one. He's a real one. Number 8. Let's go. What's your number 8, Kingdom?
Wait for it. Wait for it. Is Ruffian Superstore. Former
You do have
interim
to do that.
champion of the Bellator.
There is God, oh.
There is God. The reason why I say there is God is because you are being biased.
How am I being biased? This is
So because
former champion.
I know that you and
Bellator.
Rafion Stotts, you guys talk in your DMs, and I know that he has been on your show before.
Uh-huh.
So
Uh-huh.
that is that bias there.
That's my
Okay?
point.
Because you put Rafion Stotts over a double champ in Igbo Kabesa? Seriously?
Uh, so
No,
after the
no,
UFC,
I wouldn't call
after
that
the
bias, man.
after the UFC, what was the next biggest MMA promotion in the
Fair.
world?
Fair. Okay, now give me, tell me about Rafion Stotts and why he is your number.
Oh, Rafi Suits, definitely because he's former interim bantamweight champion of
Mm-hmm.
Bellator, and then
Mm-hmm.
he's beaten this I've forgotten the guy's name. This really tough wrestler guy. He's named twice now, right? So he's on a winning streak now in Bellator, and that's no mean feat. Very soon, he's also in line to contend for the Bellator. Belt, bantamweight belt again, and I believe he's got what it takes to seize that belt very soon. So he's a top contender at bantamweight, and if you rank in the top 5 bantamweights in the world in MMA, not just the UFC, I think he's right up there in the mix. So
Well, I agree with you. He is an A-level bantamweight in the world. He is one of those guys that was riding one of the longest winning streak in pro MMA, like in the pro organizations that actually matter. Before he had that loss against Pachi Mix, I believe. Um, he was this close to joining the UFC until he met a guy called Merab.
Rob,
Merab,
The
Merab,
machine.
who everybody knows. Yeah. So he was. There's a story about Dana White. What's that thing? Looking for a fight. That show that
yeah,
Dana White does.
yeah.
And it was scheduled for Rafion Stotts versus Merab, and that card was made for Rafion Stotts to shine. But then Merab did his thing, and then Rafion couldn't go to the UFC, and Merab went to the UFC instead of Rafion. But Rafion, that was his last loss before he went on a run. He went on a run, became an interim champion because he didn't want to challenge his friend. Uh, I believe that's one of the Pettis boys.
Cedric,
Um, yeah, and
yeah.
then he entered the Grand Prix. I remember he was campaigning for the Grand Prix when we interviewed him as well, because he felt like, okay, instead of the belt, I might just get $1 million. And yeah, he got to the semifinals, I believe, or was it the final? I think it was the final, wasn't it? And he lost to Pachi Mix. Pachi Mix is the champion now, isn't he? So yeah, Rapion Stotts, a stud. All right, I think we've wasted too much time. Which means that when I get to my list, I'm going to ramble through it real quick. But let's hear your number 7. What's your number 7 then?
Number 7, very obvious one. From Zimbabwe, Themba, the answer. Gorimbo.
You have him
Really
at
fine.
Temba, the
number
answer
7?
Soft.
Temba, the answer Gorimbo is currently, apart from Dracos being a champion, among all African fighters in the UFC, Themba has the longest fight win streak of 3. He has won his fight back to back to back. He won by decision, he won by knockout, and he won by decision just last week. I think we'll talk about that a bit later. But yeah, Themba is a good shout.
Yeah.
I have Themba on my list as well. Um, but from what Soft is saying and the way he's looking, he feels like Themba is low, very low on this list.
So, should be higher, man.
It should be higher than that, right? So that some people will not say I'm
Yeah,
very
it should be
biased
higher than that.
because Themba is my
No,
boy,
it should be higher than that.
So,
You've been biased already, so forget about what they say, man.
okay. Let's
All
wait
right,
for
no. All
number
right, let's
6.
go for number 6. And
Number
who
6
is
is
your number 6?
Manuel Starboy Cap or Cap.
Manuel Cap from Angola. He's a former Rising champion. Got into the UFC. He has already lost to the champion Pantoja, but it was a very close fight. I remember Manuel Cap has been one of the most unluckiest fighters in the UFC. He has like literally 6 fights cancelled. He has more cancelled fights than actual fights in the UFC. That's how crazy it is. He's one of those guys that if you look at the flyweight division and you think about who might be a star among these guys, apart from the Brazilians, Pantoja, Moreno, he looked like that guy that can actually maybe one day main event. You know, it's not very common to see flyweights main event a card, but Manel Cap has that aura. He looks like he can sell tickets. He's very entertaining when he grabs the mic, like last year when he said "Kai Kara." I don't want to cross on this on this show, but I like your placement of Manel Cap. However, Manel Cap, I believe, is he on a 1 fight win streak or 2 fight win streak? I can't remember per se, but what do you think, Soft?
So that's the thing about this fight game now. Sometimes the statistics don't really matter. When you talk about Money right now, I think he's very marketable. Even the tussle with Easy, I think kind of like pushed him to a greater height in a way. What he just has to do is to win his next fight. And I feel like a lot of people have got eyes on him right now. I mean, imagine the guy coming out to say he can beat Easy in a street fight. Bro, he can actually be the African Conor McGregor of that division, man. I just pray he wins his next fight and let's see how it goes.
I just have one word for you.
I believe he should be in there for
yeah, good shout, Manuel Cap from Angola. And then Dems, take us to your number 5, please.
At number 5, we have Sadibu, the Swedish Denzel Washington. Steve.
Right, Sadibou C, I would like to call him a Senegalese. Sadibou C, former champion in PFL, welterweight. He then decided to move up to light heavyweight in this year's tournament in the PFL. However, he was a finalist last year in the welterweight tournament for the $1 million. He tried to do back-to-back. However, he didn't win that one. And in the PFL, in his PFL light heavyweight debut, he lost the fight via doctor stoppage, I believe, for a broken thumb or something like that. Some freak accident happened. Sadibou C is one of the highly rated welterweights. I believe he used to train with Sean Strickland, and Sean Strickland had a lot of good words to say about him. I'm not surprised he's on your list. However, he's not on my list only because he has back-to-back L's, even though the last one wasn't too much of his fault. But what do you think, Soft?
I think he's an exciting fighter, but for me, I want to see him more as a welterweight. I know sometimes fighters just want to switch weight class due to cutting weights, but I've watched some of his highlights as a welterweight, and I think he's very good. Carries more power there. I just feel like that's more natural for him than the light heavyweight. And I agree with you. Back-to-back losses, but I would have expected him to be on maybe number 10 on your list because he's doing well, man. He's doing well. And the way you introduce him, someone would have thought he was a Scandinavian. The way you Swedish,
the Swedish Denzel Washington. That is his nickname.
All right. That's no time. Which number are we at, Demola?
Number 4.
All right. In Demola's list, pound for pound list of African MMA, Demola's number 4, and the number 4 is
Impa Kasanganai.
Why are you running?
All right, Shilobo, the Shilobo. Shilobo has one of the most beautiful stories you'd ever find. I believe, you know what? This just came to me. I was saying somebody should have told Impa's story, maybe a mini documentary on YouTube or something. Well, obviously, the PFL, they do a good job of documenting those things, but somebody that is not the promotion should make a documentary. And I kind of feel like I should be that somebody now.
We are here, man. We are here.
Myself into it. Yeah, so
don't give them our idea.
So Impact Kasanganai, he got one of the most devastating, not really devastating, one of the most cool-looking knockouts of all time. One of the most famous knockouts of all time happened in the pandemic. He had it didn't help that he had a mohawk at the time when he got back kicked, one spinning kick like that by Buckley.
Buckley,
You just made your
yeah, yeah, yeah. But to be honest, if you did not have that mohawk, you wouldn't look that cool. So Impa picked himself up. He went to Eagle FC, I believe that's Khabib's MMA promotion, fighting another promotion, and then got into the PFL, became a champion, and now he's trying to like defend that title if that's a thing. I don't think it's a title defense, but he's trying to go back to back champions. He's already made a lot of money now, and he's looking to make more money. And I believe at this point, even the UFC would want to have him back. If the PFL will make their rankings of their pound for pound fighter, he's going to be in there as well. Even though he lost in that Saudi Arabia show that the PFL did that nobody attended. Well, I hate to drop a cheeky dig at that event, but I didn't like the fact that nobody was there. He was actually the main event of that show. Yeah. But so shout out Impa Kasanganai. I do have Impa on my list, but I would like to hear your number 3 now. What's your number 3?
And number 3 is somebody that is very dear to your heart, Kamaru the Nigerian Nightmare. Usman.
I don't understand why Usman is number 3 on your list. Because Usman is currently riding a 3-fight losing streak. And one of them was a knockout. It's one of those type of knockouts that when sometimes around the year you see a post, they write OTD on this day. You understand? So if they knock you out and it becomes so great, they will always celebrate the anniversary of that knockout. Do you understand? So Kamaru Usman's loss to Leon Edwards is an anniversary worthy knockout. But we don't kick a man when he's down. I'm the biggest Kamaru Usman nerd here. But I have Usman on my list, but he's not that high. He is obviously, if you're watching this, you already know who Usman is. Pound for pound, at some point he was pound for pound number 1 in the world. He was taking out all comers. He was defending his title. He kept us entertained during the pandemic, and he did make a lot of money doing that. Sase, or
let's be honest,
I should just call you Soft.
Yeah, no problem. Let's be honest. He's not the only Nigerian Nightmare. Where have you kept Mike Perry? That's my brother Mike Perry. But yeah, I
that's
agree
one
with
of the things.
If you're making like a Hall of Fame list, Usman will be there. But right now, based on activities, it doesn't mean he wouldn't come back strong. I know he's going to come back stronger. But right now, I wouldn't put him on the top 5 for pound right now.
Okay, it's opinions.
Well, it's your opinion, and to be honest, I kind of know what your number 2 and number 1 will be now. But please tell us, what is your number 2 and your number 1?
Number 2 is Israel, the last outbender, Adesanya.
I'm going to let you defend this. Why do you have Izzy as number 2?
Why do I have Izzy as number 2? He's just got a 1-fight losing streak, right? And of course, he's just leading a past, midweight champion of the world, right? 2-time midweight champion of the world. So, for me, pound for pound is not just about recency bias. It's about taking the body of work, right, that a person, a fighter, has actually accomplished, right? So I'll defend this given the John Jones debate, for example. If you're talking about just recency bias, John Jones should not be number 2 pound for pound, fighter in the world, right? But respecting the body of work, right, that this person has put in, like you can't bring Easy lower than any of these other fighters on this list. That's why I also have Kamaru Usman at sitting strongly at number 3, because the body of work speaks for itself, even despite the recent skits that they've had. That being said, Easy, deservedly is sitting at number 2.
Yo, Fight Week Show says big up, lads. Yes, Fight Week Show. Appreciate you hanging out with us today. Yes, yes, yes. All right. Um, I'm going to take a wild guess at who your number one is. Right? Is your number one pound for pound African MMA fighter right now? Is he Mike Perry?
Number 1, drum rolls. A man. I respect him a lot, even though I don't like him very much. Dricos still knocks Duplessis.
Wait. Before people call us haters, why don't you like Dricos? Explain.
Because Adesanya is my favorite, MMA fighter of all time. I see him like my brother, my Yoruba brother, and of course,
Okay.
Dricos has, some beef with him, and the enemy of your friend is your enemy in some ways.
Wait. I beg, before you continue, I just want to ask soft for here. So which tribe you be, I beg? Because they show for your face.
But I mix, so I come from everywhere. Yoruba,
Eh.
Edo,
Uh-huh. Okay.
Oh, wow,
Igala.
interesting.
So
Interesting.
plenty.
Right.
I'm like
All
Star
right.
Bender, man, from everywhere.
Yeah. All right. There you have it. That is King Dempsey. Obviously, Dricos still knocks Duplessis is the middleweight champion of the UFC. He is currently on top of the world. We're going to have that title fight very soon on who would determine who would be the pound for pound number one African MMA fighter. Because if Dricos and Easy goes, anybody who wins is the number one.
Definitely.
I'm just going to go through my list and I'm going to try as much as I can to be quick about it because we are already hitting the half-hour mark.
Okay.
All right. The top 10 pound for pound list, according to this guy, me, Jibril Aminu. My number 10 is Kamaru, the last airbender. Kamaru, the Nigerian nightmare, Usman. Kamaru Usman is
The
my
first
favorite
time
MMA fighter. Kamaru Usman is the reason why I got into MMA. I put Kamaru number 10 because he recently had 3 lessons. I don't call it losses, I call it lessons because there's a lot to learn from them. However, his body of work is strong enough to keep him there because not just my pound for pound list, even after his 3 losses, he was still in the UFC pound for pound list. So my African pound for pound list, he will still be there, and I'll leave him at number 10. Number 9, I've got this guy from Guinea. He fights in Octagon MMA, and his name is Lucien Keita. Lucien Keita is a former double champ in Octagon MMA. His only loss in MMA was a freak accident. He is a killer in that division. He is one of those fighters that is not really bothered about going to the UFC as much because he gets paid very, very well, and he's one of the top stars in Octagon MMA. He's got a big fan base right now. A lot of people pay attention when he fights, and it's just a matter of time before we see him in the UFC. And I think if we see him in the UFC, he's going to be in there with the big sharks because he is that good. Lucien Keita is absolutely a legend in the making in my books. That's my number 9. And number 8, it could easily be swapped with number 9 with Lucien Keita, maybe because of recency bias. I just watched Nicolas Huende in Brave 82, where he defended his bantamweight title against Shorty Torres in the main event here in Africa, in Mauritius. In Mauritius, I believe, a country that is very, very dear to my brother King Dems and some certain person probably watching right now. Demola, you don't talk anything as I drop that one. Eh? Anyways, Nicolas Huende. Wait a minute. Wait, is Nicolas Huende is the champion, isn't he?
He is.
Okay.
He is
And what's the name of what's the name of the Zimbabwe guy that was in the co-main?
I can't remember right now.
Oh gosh, I hope I did not botch this because those two guys, their names are confusing me. Jiri. I am looking it up now. Hey, because as I'm
Expo.
mentioning the name, I'm feeling like I messed up. Yeah.
Oh, it's not something in the belly.
Huh? Ndombele.
And the belly. Yeah.
Ndombele is the champ, right?
Yeah. Nkosi in the belly.
Yeah.
Nkosi in
Yes.
the belly. Yeah. Was
I
one
knew
that.
I knew I messed up.
Yeah.
Gosh, I knew I messed up. Those two guys, their names don't even sound the same. So Wende is the Zimbabwean guy, and Nkosi is the South African guy that is the champion. So scratch that. My number 8 is Nkosi Ndebele, champion. He had a trilogy fight with Shodi Torres. It's one of those trilogies that has never happened anywhere else in the world because it's a trilogy that happened in three separate continents, happened in South America, in Asia, and then the third fight happened in Africa. Every time you see Nkosi fight, yes, he's the Brave CF champion. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Every time you see Nkosi fights, he develops. He shows us another part of his game. He is an incredible fighter, and right now he's sort of looking like I should say he is the face of Brave CF because I don't know who is a bigger star than him at the moment. I'm not really too much into Dagestanis. I know that Brave has a lot of Dagestanis in there and Kyrgyzstanis. There probably is some killer there, but at the moment, Kosi Ndebele is the face that runs the place. Moving on, my number 7 pound for pound African list is none other than David Onama. David Onama from Uganda. We've already spoken about him. I believe he currently has 5 performance bonuses in the UFC. When I talk 5 performance bonuses, I'm talking about over $250,000 alone outside of his pay, show money and win money. He is an exciting, electric fighter. Obviously, certainly has tons of fans around him. And the reason why he's high up in my list over people like Nkosi and Lucien Keita is because of where he fights. He fights in the UFC, obviously, and that's like the A list of all promotions. And with how exciting he is, in my books, he is in the top 10. Next, number 6, Impa Kasanganai. Impa Kasanganai, we already spoke about him, about his story. Currently, he is on top of the table in the light heavyweight rankings for the PFL Championship. That alone, and him being a defending champion, he's looking like he's going to go back to back at the moment until we see him probably paired up with Sadibu C. That would be a fight that we probably don't want to see. Next, number 5. I just rhymed there without even trying. I said until
Don't
they
leave
pair
me,
him
don't leave
up
me.
with Sadibu C. I said they paired him up with the Sadibu C, and that's a fight that we probably don't
Quality
want to
guy.
see. Oh,
See.
hey,
Yeah.
Omo, I'm the rapper, their father. Um, no, number 5, we've got Cedric. I've got Cedric Doumbe here. I understand Cedric Doumbe is probably the first fighter to lose a fight by splinter, by stepping on a splinter on his toe or something. That was awkward. He never really lost a fight.
No,
Cedric Doumbe, I understand that they give him favorable matchups, but that doesn't matter because of how good he is. At least he's going to get his first test against Anthony Pettis. That's going to be fantastic. We're going to see what he's made up of, and I think he's going to make light work of him. I think with the hype and the amount of tickets that Cedric Doumbe has sold and the butts that he has put on seats, I think he should be high here because I don't think apart from Adesanya and Usman, and probably Dracos. None of these guys have sold more tickets than Cedric Doumbe has. All right, number 4 is our boy Themba, the answer Gorimbo. Themba Gorimbo, we know what his story is. We know we're talking about the promotion where somebody fights. We are talking about him aligning himself with Faith, aligning him with Dwayne The Rock Johnson and the 7 Box story. We're talking about him riding on that momentum, believing in himself, and going on a 3-fight win streak in the UFC is not a small deal. Yeah, I'm just looking here. 5 week show say complete outclass Torres. Yep. And he says very promising. He's still got way to go, yo. Yeah, he is certainly. He's talking about Nkosi in the belly. Yeah. So Themba Gorimbo, that's my number 4. And my number 3 is the pound for pound number 1 African fighter in Africa as well, fighting in the number 1 African MMA promotion. That's Igu Kabesa. Igu Kabesa is my number 3. He's a double division champ. He should be high on this list. I'm not going to put him at number 10 like a certain person here did. Throwing a dig at you and the disrespect you put on Igu Kabesa's name. Igu Kabesa, in my opinion, is a finished product. I feel like he is currently at his peak. He just needs to get in there in the UFC so he can actually rub shoulders with guys that are really, really good, because he's at that point that I think he has sparred and trained with everybody in South Africa and fought everybody, and there's nobody that's going to make him better anymore. He needs to get out of there and get better. So my number 2 is Israel, the last stylebender, Adesanya. Izzy is on a 1-fight losing streak, and we know why he lost that fight. He wasn't really good coming into that fight. Izzy is still currently in the UFC pound for pound list, although Dracos is on top of him because Dracos is champion. And that brings me to Dracos is currently my number 1, undoubtedly number one pound for pound African MMA fighter of the world. Dracos still knocks to place. He is on a tear right now. Multiple fights in the winning column. He's got winning streak. I can't tell the number off my head. He's undefeated in the UFC, obviously. Yeah, there you have it. I don't talk too much. That's my top 10 pound for pound list. And I'm going to say something. You get your chance. You get your chance. Soft. I'm going to say something. I was not 100% ready with my list. I said King Dems to start first so I can pick up on his mistakes. And after we are analyzing his own, I'll craft my list. So thank you very much, King Dems, for doing a very shitty list so my list can be good.
No, I stand, on business on what I picked, I love my own methodology, right? So in terms of my methodology, I rank based off the strength of your body of work, the strength of your recent schedule, and the strength of the star power of the promotion that you fight with. So those were the bases. So there is a method to the madness.
Okay, madman. At least you've admitted that you are mad. All right, Soft. Let's hear from you.
I hope you're not the
I don't want two names. I don't want two names. I don't want two names, Soft. I want 5. Give me 5. Because I know you're not very ready. Listening to us speak, we probably have inspired you to have at least 5 people that are in the front of your brain right now. You don't have to think too much. Give us 5.
Number 5. I'll put them there. Themba's number 5.
Yeah?
I said, what's
Themba Gorimbo 5. Then number 4.
Don't worry. Them not distract him. Number 5, Themba Gorimbo. Great peak.
Then number 4, I'll go with Dracos, the Pettis. I'm not having him at number 1. And I have my reasons. I have my reasons. See, before.
Wait. I have some audio for you.
Jiri God.
Number 4, bro.
Yeah.
Sorry, what is technology?
It's my list. Yeah, it's my list. and I can make
Yes, your
anyone.
list. Okay, go.
I can make anyone the list
Yeah.
on my list.
Yes, yes.
So to enjoy.
I really can't hear you
Sorry,
well. Jibril,
Yeah, can
can
you
you
hear me
hear
sorry.
now?
me?
I
Yeah, I went on
accidentally
mute.
muted him. I
Oh,
was
okay,
going to
okay.
mute myself because I was chewing something. Then I muted you. Sorry. Go ahead.
Okay. All right. So before the whole drama, I was watching him and I really liked him as a fighter. I think he's very talented. But personally, I feel like the whole thing he said was so unnecessary. It actually has caused more division than unity. I understand you can sell fights. There's different ways of doing trash talk, but the way he took it, I didn't like the direction he took it. And that might be a topic for another day. But as a fighter, I admire him. But just because of that act alone, you all know the history in Nigeria and South Africa, man. There's already some things boiling from other industries, but you don't need to stir things up, man. You understand? So the way he did it, I feel like it was wrong. Until now, I don't think there's a proper apology yet. That's why. That's when you said you're an Easy fan. I was like, yeah, I like Easy too, but I feel like that was a bit disrespectful to the entire Africans who have been in the UFC. Kamaru, Francis, and the others. But yeah, that's just why I'm putting him there. But as a fighter, he's very skilled and I respect him. But yeah, I can put him as number 4. And number 3, I think I'll put C. You talk about his 2 losses. That's why you wouldn't put him there. But when I watch his highlights, man, that guy is really good. The Swedish Denzel Washington, like we called him. He's a very, very skilled fighter. And I don't really care about losses sometimes. I look at your work and how you fight. There's some fighters who just start hard. They win fight, but deep down, there's no quality in the fight. You don't really see much quality. So yeah, I'll put him there. And I'm going to my number 2 now. Yeah, number
Yes, number
2.
2.
Okay, yeah, this will come as a shocker to you, but Kamaru Usman, number 2, and this is my reason. Yeah, this is my reason. The fight that he lost to Leon. Look at Leon going through those fights. Leon was undefeated. Leon was actually on a very good run. I had that momentum. It's very hard to break someone like Leon at that stage. I think most fighters will lose to Leon. And coming back off that knockout to fight in the rematch, to take the fight to the distance, that's some bravery and skill. And then the next opponent, they're giving you the wolf, Khamzat Chimaev, on short notice, and you went in there, you took him the distance. If not for if that fight had gone longer, he would have knocked Chimaev out. So I think Usman is still very, very active. I don't know. He keeps talking about moving to light heavyweights these days. I don't understand. Maybe we might just see him at light heavyweight. I don't know, but I'm putting him up there at number 1, the last starbender, Israel Adesanya. Personally, I
Doumbe,
feel
you
the
need
reason he lost to Strickland
please
is
give me the
because
bell.
he's too stubborn. I don't think he was fit enough. I think he was stubborn. Maybe if he had listened to some advice, he wouldn't have gone into that Strickland fight because he wasn't really fit enough, and he knew that and he had admitted that. But because of how he is, he loves to be active. He wants to do his job, and he ended up paying the price. I wouldn't call it much of a price, but yeah, that's how it is, and I still believe he's the best fighter out of Africa.
Help me, help me, help me! Help me!
Okay.
Help me, help me, help me,
No
help me!
Allah, no Allah.
Me, they come, we are not know.
This soft they carry me, they go where I don't know.
JB,
Because this your kind
JB, you're a
list,
bad
eh?
person.
What? Can you guys hear me?
I can hear you.
I can hear you clearly. I
No,
see you're a
no,
bad person.
no, no, I beg, forget that one. This your list, eh? If bias was a list, it is this. Well, one good thing about us Nigerians, we don't know how to be not Nigerians. Because if you look at this list that we put together, you can tell very well that there's a bit of a Nigerian bias in there. Anyways,
I beg. For
this
me, it's not
was
a Nigerian bias, bro.
fine,
It's the quality.
whatever you say.
The truth
As
is the quality
as
of the body of
as
work.
the president of Israel Adesanya fan club that you are, your name alone, Demola, is biased. You should just put when it comes to African fights, you are a biased man.
But
You
I did not
cannot
put him
see
at
the
number 1. I did not
yeah,
put
yeah,
Israel
yeah.
at number 1.
Fair. All right. We're not going to. I'm not going to scrutinize. I'm not going to kill anybody because it's our opinion. Right. Well, please, guys, feel free if you're watching. Feel free to put your list down there, the pound for pound list. I think I think on our page this might be a great idea to kind of like update pound for pound rankings every month. I think we probably would do that. Anyways,
Yeah, nice.
moving on. We have 13 questions, and from Christopher Graham, and this is just number one that we've spent 45 minutes on. So I think what I'm going to do is we're just going to go brush through a few that we can quickly talk about and then call it a night because we spent a lot of time on this one. All right, let's go number two. I'm guessing both of you watched Themba Gorimbo last week. So here's a question from Christopher Graham. Uh, Not the most exciting performance for Themba Gorimbo, but a win is a win, and I'm really proud of him. How about Max Griffin next? And I'm not just gonna say you guys should say Max Griffin should be the next guy Themba fights, but who do you think Themba should fight next after his performance that he himself has admitted he wasn't very proud of? Let me take
Uh,
Demola first. Demola, what do you think?
Whoa, tough one. He did what he had to do, right? I saw that fight live. It the other guy did not bring the fight to him. He was just trying to clinch and wrestle, right? And Themba beat him at his own game. So for me, like when I was talking to Themba, I'm like, bro, even though it wasn't the outcome you were expecting, right? Thank God for the win. Like, and he said something that I held on to. Like, it's better to learn from a win than to learn from a loss. So he just went in there and did his job. So it reminds me of when Kamaru Usman was up and coming. You know, he goes in there, wrestles, does his job, gets the job done. Same thing with Bella Mohammed. A lot of people are shouting that Belal is boring. It's better to be boring and be on a win streak, right? So that being said, I want to see Themba up against a ranked opponent the very next time he steps into the octagon. The higher the rank, the better. But I feel it's high time he gets a ranked opponent. That's the take from me.
But Sase, what do you think?
I don't know. Is Vicente Luque is still ranked because I think someone like Vicente will be
Uh,
good. He's coming off a loss. Vicente is coming off
Vicente
a
Luque.
loss. Yeah, it's to be an exciting fight to see. I mean, the big game too. And I would love Themba to fight someone who's got a very big name and good experience too. But if he
Uh,
can fight Griffin is 38. 38 is still active, it's still good. But I think it would be a good matchup too. But I'd rather see him against Vicente than Griffin.
Yeah, Vicente Luque is ranked at number 14 currently. He's ranked at number 14. So
that would be a very good test for Themba. However, I have a bit of an insight here. So we posted in our group page, on our Instagram page, who should Themba fight next? We had these three options: Michael Venom Page, that's MVPU, Vicente Luque, and Kevin Holland, right? And a lot of people were saying Themba is not ready, Themba is not ready. And then Themba said, here is Themba's comment, and I quote, God damn, give me a break. He says, give me a break. I need a good performance first, but hey, Luque should be good. But I need one more before that. But if so happen to be my next, why not? When I am happy, I am dangerous fight for anyone. Let me do what makes me happy first. So Themba is not very happy. He what's funny, he says, give me a break.
The post
Instead the
fight
next
comment
time is
was
like
something.
yeah, well, yeah, we'll get into that. But Themba kind of like he likes that Vicente Luque fights that Sasi was talking about here. But I feel like Vicente Luque is a very dangerous fight. Like, well, for Themba to be a ranked opponent, he needs to be a ranked fighter. Like Ric Flair said. Ric Flair says, to be the man, you have to beat the man. So to get a spot up there, you've
Yeah.
got to be. So Vicente Luque is one of the guys up there, and he has to fight someone like that. But it is not really. It's a very,
So
very dangerous fight.
let me shoot for the stars here, right? How about two other
Mm-hmm.
names? Jeff Neal or Neil Magny? who do you guys think would be a better matchup?
Those guys are like the certified gatekeepers, right? Dana White have already said it, and I feel like we said Geoff and Neil Magny, they've already embodied it. They embodied the fact that they are the gatekeepers. If you are who you
Check
claim
it.
to be, if you feel like you are great, they will send them your way. They will send you their way. Sorry, because like even Dana says it. Dana says, "Oh, Neil Magny is a stud." I think after he broke one of those fight appearances or record. There's a
Records.
record that he broke, and Dana was asked about it, and Dana was like, he uses Neil Magny to gauge how good a fighter is, right? If a fighter fights Neil Magny and loses, he'll be like, okay, that's no good. If a fighter beats Neil Magny and struggles to beat him, then he'll be like, he's probably not as good as I think he is. Or if a fighter beats Neil Magny, like perfectly finished Neil Magny, then I'll be like, okay, that's the guy. That's not really a good spot to be in. But Neil Magny has gotten a lot of fight checks out of the UFC, and I believe he should be. He probably his show money now is probably over 100K. It's definitely six figures. So I don't think he's going to complain too much right now for being that guy that is sort of like a gauge for the upcoming fighters. I don't know how we got into this, but we're talking about Themba's next opponent, right? I really don't know, but I feel like if the UFC throw Neil Magny at him, that means that they are trying to see if he can sink or swim. That's what I think. But what do you think, Sase, before we move on from this topic?
It's a winnable fight for him now because I saw the way he spoke after the last fight. I feel so sorry for his next opponent because Themba is going to prepare. Like he really wants to go for the kill right now. It's a make or break moment right now. Like I think that's what he has in his head right now. He looks like someone who is hungry for a knockout, a finish, a finish. So I really want to see Vicente versus Themba. I like that matchup. It would be a bit, interesting seeing him defeat someone like Vicente to be nice. But Neil Magny, man, I hear that man. That guy doesn't want to go old, man. He keeps checking people from. You can't kill that guy. You saw what he did in his last fight. I thought it was fun and always in. He finished like.
Yeah, I think that was that fight in that fight card in Canada. Yeah. All right, guys, it's 52 minutes. I think we can take one more before we go. Shout out to Christopher Graham for putting this together again. Next question. Oh, there are so many things I would love to talk about here, but
we've not spoken about Usyk versus Fury.
Yeah, we haven't spoken about that Fury Usyk. Here's a thoughts on Fury Usyk. Will we ever see Joshua and Fury fight? Will we ever see Fury Ngannou rematch?
No.
Well, I think we would definitely see Anthony Joshua versus Fury, and I feel like the tables will turn. Here's my prediction: these fighters are not getting any younger, but here's my prediction: Fury goes for his rematch against Usyk and lose again, and at this point his stock is going to be down. And then Joshua is going to go fight for is it IWB, or there's one of the titles that's obviously that he would be eligible to fight for, because there is one of these boxing mandatory thing that is going on that Usyk has to relinquish one of the titles, and Joshua would and Joshua will have a crack at that. So Joshua would win one of the heavyweight titles again and become a 3-time champion. Now, Fury is going to be coming out from a back-to-back loss. And we know that Fury has always been difficult in the negotiation table when it comes to matching up with Anthony Joshua. He has been a dick several times to AJ. But now, if AJ brings a title into the picture and brings his winning streak into the picture, and Usyk is coming from a 2-fight losing streak without any title in his hand, now AJ will be in the driving seat for that negotiation. You understand? So I feel like AJ will try to be... Why do I have you on the big screen like this? I feel like AJ will try to be a bit petty with this, and we will we would actually see a Fury AJ fight, and I feel like AJ would be the one that would be in the driving seat, and then the table would turn. But I believe we would see a Fury AJ fight down the line. I think
Why would AJ
maybe
want to
the
fight
second.
Fury if
I think maybe
Usyk?
the second quarter of next year summer, and I believe boxing heads in the UK would want it to happen in maybe a Wembley Stadium or something. But the Saudis would love to have that one as well. But if it's supposed to happen and where it's supposed to happen on English soil because that's going to be the biggest British boxing fight of all time, without a single doubt. Let's take a minute to shout out Christopher Graham. Christopher Graham is lucky to catch us here on the stream. He always he always listens to the pod later on. But yeah, shout out Christopher Graham. Thank you. All right. What any thoughts on thoughts about this as well? If we would see Fury versus Ngannou a rematch
No.
again, it's the same thing with Fury. Here's the thing. I feel Fury cannot beat Usyk. If Usyk beats Fury again, Fury coming out of a back-to-back loss will be looking to bounce back, and he will feel like Ngannou is a good fight to bounce back if the Saudis will agree to do it. It's gonna be a good money for him, good money fight, and seeing how Ngannou is with his boxing skill and seeing what AJ did to him, he would fancy being like, okay, I need to finish Ngannou as well, so I can get my mojo back. So I feel like that might be a reason why Fury Ngannou would fight. Ngannou is not in a good negotiation place when it comes to fighting any of these top heavyweights. Anybody that if Ngannou fights a top heavyweight, is the top heavyweight that asked for the fight, not Ngannou, or the Saudis demanded for it. But I don't think Ngannou has that pull anymore after he lost the way he did. That's why I think. Again, I'm not a boxing fan. I'm just being logical. I hate boxing politics. That's why I cannot follow boxing. What do
The
you think?
politics is too much, and there's something people are missing now. The fight game is changing. It's very fast now. What these Saudi Arabia guys are doing right now, they don't have time to wait. Like they can't waste any time for negotiation. They want to see a fight happen. Don't forget Wilder is fighting Jang, and it depends that the outcome of that fight can also be exciting for Joshua. I know Joshua is going for the belt, but if he's waiting for too long, he might fight Wilder even before Fury fights Usyk again. Because you know one thing with Fury, it takes him a long time to agree to fight. Maybe he comes out now and say he has an injury in his ankle spinal cord or whatever. It just comes up the long weird injury from nowhere. And I feel like Fury is declining. His legs are gone. You can say whatever you want, but I feel like it's no longer the Fury he once was. The 3 fights that took a lot out of it. He took a lot of damages in those fights. But I'm not looking forward to seeing Ngannou versus Fury. I'm not looking forward to see Joshua versus Fury. Right now, I'm looking at the younger guys who are coming up. Joseph Parker is right there. He's just there. There's a likelihood that he might get a chance at the title than Fury or even what's it called? The likes of Joshua again. So all of these things are happening really, really quick and fast. And these other guys, they're already older. You saw the way Usyk dominated Fury. I thought he dominated Fury properly, and the rematch is a no-brainer. He's going to dominate him again. So people would not really want to see that as much as they want to see someone who is fresh out, like Joseph Parker right now, who is in a fantastic form. And there's this other guy, Hegovic, or what's his name, fighting Dubois. So these other fights are just around the corner, and a lot of things might change. There's no time to waste time. What the era of Wilder, Fury, and Joshua did to us, those guys starved us of quality fights for years when they were at their peak. And now the peak it's gone. They are declining now. Imagine Wilder fighting Joshua now. Why do you want to say that?
Well, everybody knows that Wilder was hiding. Wilder was hiding. Wilder got exposed. I think now I understand why he was being hard with negotiation, because he didn't want to get exposed. He was enjoying the stardom. But now that we know who he is, well, I'm actually stoked to see his fight with Big Jang, with the big Chinese guy, because it's a fight of one trick pony versus one trick pony. This guy's got a big left hand and the other one has a big right hand.
Oh,
You know,
Let me see
you know,
who
you
wants
know
who
what I
knock
saw
out
somewhere.
women.
You know what I
Yeah,
saw somewhere. Someone described
yeah.
Zhang as the Chinese George Foreman with two fridges in his hands.
Yeah, I'm really stoked. I want to see that fight. I really want to see that fight because there's nothing exciting like an unconventional boxing fight where people are swinging heavy and there is the chances of knockout happening is very high. I love to see that. All
Sorry,
right,
if you
as you
Google one dimensional, right, you see a picture of Zhang pop up on the internet screen. That's a soundboard for me, one dimensional.
talk
Whoa.
about that, man.
He's
Talk
got a,
about dimension.
he's got a
Damn.
chin though. He's got a chin.
Oh yeah, but he doesn't have a good gas tank. Um,
No, no.
let's see. Can we get another one in? Let's see. Can we get another one in? You know what, guys? If we start talking about something
Got
else,
one
we would
quickly.
not. We'll stay. Okay, you really want one?
I've
Okay,
got
you
one
pick
quickly.
one from the questions because you have them there. Which one do you want to talk about?
Heel, heel versus Ulberg.
Oh yeah.
Whoa, that's a big
Oh
one.
yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh
Hold him
yeah.
up.
That's
I
an
don't,
exciting one.
I don't,
That's an exciting one.
I'm not, I'm not, I'm not really happy with that matchup because I like both guys, and I feel like
I feel
an L there will actually break.
Yeah, Jamal Hill sort of like has more to lose in that fight. If I was Carlos Ulberg, I'll be
He
super
has a
happy
lot
to be
to
in
lose.
that fight.
I think Ulberg
Yeah.
is being fast tracked now. He's been fast tracked.
I didn't expect that. It's too much.
Yeah.
Like
Oh
it's
yeah,
too quick.
yeah, yeah. Ulberg, how he lost to in Zechiku wasn't really pretty. Yeah,
But since then, he has
but
been
since
six and
then,
oh.
since then he's been tearing it up. He's been tearing it up. I don't think has he ever been in the main card since then. I feel like he's been doing most of his work in the prelims.
Was he not in the main
But yeah,
card
it's
the
really,
last
really an
time?
exciting one. If you know me, you know that I'm a big fan of big sweaty men when it comes to fighting. I know it
Okay.
sounds wrong, but what I mean is in the fight game, I prefer to see the heavy guys hit. That's why I'm not a big fan of the flyweights. I'm not a big fan of the controversial one that I will say. I'm not a big fan of the women MMA. Not
Likewise.
because not because I am not because I'm a what's the word that women like to use?
Misogynist.
That one. Not because it's mostly because I like to see big men hit each other and I want to see bodies fall. And women don't do that. If you see a women title fight, it's certainly a 5 rounder. It's certainly a 5 rounder. When was the last time we saw a finish in a title fight? But I did enjoy the Wei Li Jiang and the Xiaonan fight. Even though it was a 5 rounder, I enjoyed the grappling. I really had a good time watching that one. But I think that's the most entertaining female fight I've seen in a while. So all the female people watching me, I'm not a hater. I just want to see bodies fall. That's it. Big sweaty men. Big sweaty men.
It sounds so
This guy's
wrong.
hot. Can you cut that part out and just put it on your Instagram?
I feel so
You have a lot
uncomfortable.
of engagement for the wrong reasons.
I know. If somebody cuts that part and posts it without any context, we are in trouble, all three of us.
No, you'll be in trouble.
But all our faces on the video.
But then that shows like
I'm not big. I'm not sweaty.
All right, guys. Thank you very much. This been exciting. We still have quite a few more to talk about. Probably dive into them next week. Oh, by the way, next week I will be streaming live from Abuja, Nigeria. I'll be going to Nigeria for AK04 live from the Abuja Continental Hotel. I think next week I'm going to do a bit of a preview to kind of like preview of the fight to kind of like do maybe a bit of a campaign for them.
They're still releasing
I invite.
announcing the fight. Yeah, they're not done announcing the
The
fight.
fights are still. Yeah, the fights are still rolling out. Yeah, I think we have about 9 fights on that card. They are still rolling out. They'll be out all by this week. Yeah. All right. Thank you guys. It's been fun. Please hit the like button. That really helps us quite a lot. And before we go, I'm going to pass it to Bruce Puffer again.
It's time!
Yes, it's time to go home. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Sase, aka Soft of Soft Sports. And this is King Dems, King Dems for the ladies and the King Dems podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you. I
And
remain
you?
Jibril from the African
You for the-
Fighters.
Jibril.
For the big sweaty man.
Nigeria.
Yes, Jibril for the big sweaty man. Let's go.